Welcome back, everybody, to the Nerdcore podcast, the podcast that reviews movies and talks that nerd shit. As always, it is episode 636, and this is your review of Aparajito. As we continue on with our Satyajit Ray month here. As always, is the nerd going here to host the show alongside our wonderful co-host Brad Young Yoda.
What's up, everybody? Wonderful, wonderful Monday.
Yep, about to discuss one of the happiest movies of all time, huh? Yep, yep, yep.
I mean, for
Uh,
Raul, it is.
I don't know, man. Yeah. Oh man, happy Monday live and early for our patrons over at patreon.com/thenerdcore. At the $1 tier, you get this episode live streamed to you and early before anybody gets to watch it at 12 p.m. Central Time the next day. As always, it's over there. Check it out. Patreon.com/nerdcore. Brad, before we get into review though, how's it been, bro? I haven't heard from you since Thursday.
I'm
Uh,
tired.
yeah, you're old, tired, and you work with children.
Yeah, that's pretty much sums it up.
Yeah,
I'm tired today though, so I'm
yeah.
just I'm just tired. Yeah.
I was over. Well, I'm not over, but if I would have gone today, I would have been over my hours, so I didn't go to work today.
Oh, there you go.
So I stayed home and I started watching Pur Sansar, and yeah, watching a little bit of that, and hopefully probably finish it by the end of the night.
Hmm.
But started watching that. I saw I saw Godzilla -1 the last weekend, Brad.
That's what you said.
Fucking awesome, fucking awesome. And I also watched Miyazaki's newest film, The Boy and the Heron, and that was amazing. It's a great film. And other than that, what have I really done? I don't know. Not much. Not
I
much.
played Lethal Company with Luis and Chillzone on Saturday.
Yeah. How's that?
That was fucking fun.
Yeah. I decided I wanted to spend my $10 that I could have used on that game on food at the movie theater that tasted terrible.
Well, this is the choices we live with.
Yep. Yep. It was not the best decisions I made. Not one of the best decisions I've made. Not
Hey,
at all. What's up, Stacy? Thank you for being in chat here. Definitely the last film for Miyazaki. Yeah. Yeah, this is the second retirement. Well, not retire second because he said he was done with Ponyo, and then he comes back for Wind Rises. He says he's done with after Wind Rises, and he comes
this
back for
this
this one.
man just needs enough time to hate himself, just by being by himself and going through all the motions of just hating himself, and then he
Yeah.
just creates art from that.
I always just wonder if like I sit there and I think about like who was because like I wonder like oh man like is this what Tarantino's gonna be like? You know, he's gonna spend a couple years away. He's gonna be like okay I'm done. Then he's just like well nah fuck this man I gotta make another one.
I feel like that would be a Tarantino thing to do,
Yeah, and then he's gonna say okay this is the last one. This is definitely the last one.
because I don't see. I mean, it's like any director. Although Tarantino might be the one just to go into television, like he'll do television shit.
Yeah, or he did say he would love to write cinema literature too and like
Yeah,
but I don't know. I also think about like because Kurosawa had shown no signs of stopping. He wanted to keep going. I wonder if Kurosawa would have been the same. Like he would have been like, okay, maybe this is the last one, and then he wanted to keep going. But I
yeah.
don't know, dude.
I
It's
mean,
just
and Tarantino, I don't know. Like the man really hasn't had bad reviews, honestly.
yeah,
So I can't tell you with Tarantino. Tarantino probably we'll see him quite a few times throughout the years. Because I just don't think you like, especially if you like doing what you do, you don't just stop. Especially when you're like in your prime.
yeah. Whereas like I think I just understand that I don't know. I don't know what Miyazaki thinks, but I know that that this new one it it's like it feels like it's his swan song, but it's obviously not. He said he's already gonna make his next. He's already working on. He already wants to start to work on the next one after this is done. Um,
Is he
and part of
making
the film feels like he's saying like I'm not ready to let go of all this yet.
is he making one with his son? Is that what?
No, No, he's
No.
not gonna make one with his son. No.
Okay.
There's a lot that I want to discuss about this movie when you get to watch it, but it's just it's yeah. It feels like a swan song, and I feel like when this film was gonna premiere at
It
Venice,
was kind of that way.
before we heard that he was done, he wasn't done, that he was gonna finish up, he was gonna keep making more movies. That it felt like a swan song, especially because a lot of those reviews from Venice were like, "Oh, his final film is incredible. This is a beautiful finish to his career." And then he's like, "No, I'm not done.
I'm not done yet. I'm not dead yet.
I'm not done. The job's not done." Just what was that? I'm not leaving. I'm not fucking leaving.
I'm not going. I'm not going. All right, Leo, calm down.
You wanted to do something with Star Trek. They don't really have any foot centric aliens. Just saying. Yeah. Yeah. I'm not sure if Tarantino would. I don't think Star Trek Tarantino is ever going to happen. That's just not going to happen.
No, probably not.
I think the whole Django and Zorro thing might happen before Tarantino's Star Trek ever
That
happened.
would be kind of cool. I'm just saying. That would be kind of cool.
Yeah. But yeah, great film from Miyazaki. I can't wait to for people to for Brad to get to it when he gets to it. Just a lot of great things. This Wednesday, I'm going to go see an early screening of the Iron Claw. Very 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 excited for that. Oh my god, it's one of my most anticipated movies of this year. I'm really excited to get to that. So hopefully that goes well, and then we
I
get to
mean,
watch it.
it's a A24 film, right?
Yep, but about the
That should give you hope.
yeah, yeah, and then MJF's in it too.
Is he in it? I thought
Yeah,
he
he's
was
in it.
just doing like choreography and stuff.
Apparently he's in it.
Okay.
He might have been stunned. I don't know. All I know he's in it. But with that said though, you got anything, Brad? Did you watch anything this weekend or anything like that?
Nothing to oh, I did watch what did I watch? It was Max what the hell was it?
Max Payne.
No. It was a documentary I watched. I forget what it was called. It's like oh, Great Photo, Lovely Life.
hmm. Was that?
So it's about a woman in her 20s or 30s basically confronting her grandfather on his child sex abuse he did in the 70s.
God damn.
Yeah.
Okay.
It's it gets raw and emotional up in there and you're just going, yeah, your grandpa is kind of creepy. But like I mean like this dude, that's the thing, and this dude continued to do it until his death basically.
That's crazy. So it's on Max.
Yeah, it's on HBO. Yeah, Max.
Yeah.
Great Photo, Lovely Life.
I hate the we have to fucking call it that, bro.
Well,
It's
the
HBO Max, guys.
it's oh yeah, it's Max, HBO Max. I thought you were talking about the title, and it's
Oh no, no, I'm talking about the fact that we have to call fucking Max Max now. It's like it's HBO Max, bro. Like
yeah, like let's be real here, HBO is the moneymaker in that whole portion probably. It still does the HBO like original and stuff, and
the
yeah, yeah, all that.
oh,
Yeah, all HBO original documentary and
yeah,
all that stuff.
not the Max original.
But very difficult to watch for reasons.
I
Um,
bet.
yeah. Um, but I would say definitely worth the watch just because it's not something you see when the granddaughter confronts the grandfather who's like in his 80s and is
Yeah,
like gets to ask him questions of like, why did you do this? Why did you feel like this? And him being too open and honest in some cases, and it's just like, dude, that's gross. Like,
yeah. Well, I saw that they removed fucking Watchmen from Max, and I go here to see on Amazon to see if you could buy the Blu-ray, and nope, it's sold out.
mm,
Hopefully that gets restocked.
maybe on eBay, but
Bro, you
probably
know
a
they're gonna be
higher.
charging a fuck ton.
Yeah.
Uh, hell no. But yeah, man, I watched this film yesterday. I watched this yesterday at night. I finished. Well, I started like in the afternoon, and I finished it at night. And then I what's it called? Yeah, I was like, oh man, I'm ready to do this shit, man. I'm ready to do shit. So yeah,
I need Luis and Chosen to get back on Lethal Company, and we need to get you the game too.
uh,
So
we gotta keep playing Backrooms, bro.
yeah, we gotta get through that too. Although there is a little there's an Easter egg of the Backrooms and Lethal Company. It's a little room that looks like the Backrooms.
Yeah, that's funny. Yeah, we gotta play Backrooms, bro. I need to play that shit again. But let's go ahead and get to this, Brad. So you've got your info pulled up.
I do.
Well, all right, Brad. Introduce us to Aparajito.
Coming from our one and only source, Wikipedia, I'm about to butcher all these names.
I can do the name of the author. That's gonna be a little bit
I'll just
easier.
say
Yeah.
Ray.
Yeah.
Oh,
Oh, it's Sat.
you
Sat.
mean the
Yeah.
novel? Yeah, yeah,
Yeah.
you can do that.
Yeah. Satyajit. Satyajit. Yeah.
I'm just going with Ray.
Yeah.
Aparajito is a 1956 Indian Bengali language drama film written and directed by Ray and is the second part of the Apu Trilogy. It is adapted from the first half of
Bibhupishan Banerjee novel.
novel of the same name. It starts off with the previous film, Pather Panchali, 1955, ended with Apu's family moving to Varanasi and chronicles Apu's life from childhood to adolescence and college. When Ray started making Pather Panchali, he had no plans of following it up with a sequel. The critical and commercial success of the film prompted him to start making Aparajito. Unlike his previous venture, where he stayed faithful to the novel, Ray took some bold artistic decisions here, such as portraying the relationship between Apu and his mother in a very different manner from the book. As a result, in contrast to its predecessor, the film was not received well locally. Ray recalled that, as for the suburban audience, it was shocked by the portrayal of the mother and son relationship so sharply at variance with the conventional notion of mutual sweetness and devotion. Critical reception outside of India, however, was overwhelmingly positive. It won 11 international awards, including the Golden Lion and Critics Award at the Venice Film Festival,
Damn.
becoming the first ever film to win both.
On his second movie. On his second movie, he wins the top prize at Venice.
Veteran filmmaker Mrinal Sen said he considers it to be one of the best Indian movies he had ever seen. Bosley Crowther said that it is done with such rare feeling and skill at pictorial imagery and with such sympathetic understanding of Indian character on the part of Mr. Ray that it develops a sort of hypnotism for the serene and tolerant viewer. The critical acclaim this movie received encouraged Ray to make another sequel, Apur Sansar, 1959, which was equally well received, and thus concluded one of the most critically acclaimed movie trilogies of all time. As Roger Ebert later pointed out, the three films swept the top prizes at Cannes, Venice, and London, and created a new cinema for India, whose prolific film industry had traditionally stayed within the narrow confines of swashbuckling musical romances. Never before had one man had such a decisive impact on the films of his culture. Um, Cinematography. Surata Mitra was was that was that the same one previously?
I believe. Yep, he did
Yep,
the three
He
films.
did the whole trilogy.
Yep,
Music by Ravi Shankar, who I'm pretty sure did the
the
first
last
one.
one too. Yeah,
Yeah, and yeah, we have a release date of October 11th, 1956. Running time 113 minutes. I have no data on box office.
anything like that. Yeah. Edited by Dulal Duta too. But yeah, man. Um, man, Brad. You want to take this one away? You want to give us your initial
No, you go
thoughts?
ahead.
Okay.
I
All
always
right,
go first. You go ahead.
man. All right. So the last one, I was like, oh man, like I love this movie, and I think it really like found it really amazed me on a technical level and even the story parts. But I said there was a part in that second act where I just felt like maybe we were meandering a bit, and this one I was captivated throughout this whole movie. I I thought that that Satyajit Ray spends what's it called loses no time here. He does not waste any time with where he leaves the last film and where he starts this. He just picks it up and he's like he picks it up like as if the viewer had just seen the last film, and easy to follow, very heartbreaking movie, man. I mean, the father dies, and then what you think that you think that like things are gonna go well for Apu and his family, and he gets like this great chance to go and study, and he gets these opportunities, and then his mom dies, and it's such a big obstacle in Apu's life, and I was just I felt this film very deeply. It resonated a lot with me, and I loved every minute of this movie, man. I thought this was fantastic.
Um, yeah, I kind of agree on most levels there. I still feel like for me personally, I enjoyed the first film a little more, but that's just because I had a few like story issues with this. They never bring up the sister. I don't think. I never
Yeah,
They never bring up the sister, so that was which I kind of get in a way of a family, but it was a very huge, monumental part of his life, the loss of his sister there. So, and I think you can kind of feel it in the background, but it's never brought forward, and so there's always kind of that tension of like, oh, and when the father gets the fever, you're like, oh crap, here we go again,
yeah,
another roller coaster. Um, I also don't like the time leap from, when he first starts school, like high school, I guess is that, or middle school or whatever the hell he's. And then he's basically like, "Hey, look, he's like 18." There's a big jump there. That I didn't
I feel like he's more like
necessarily.
16, huh? Like
I
he's
don't know cuz he's
teenage.
going to college,
Well, the thing is,
but
Brad,
this is
like
back in the day.
translations, Brad, we don't know because like college in Mexico is what's it called, high school,
Okay,
and
what?
then yeah,
But he
so
goes off to what feels like university? That's
yeah,
what it kind of feels. It feels like university goes off to, but maybe it was like higher. It's a higher education of some sort,
yeah.
which his mother has to pay for. Um,
I don't want to
which
what's it called. I don't want to spoil anything about Person Sar because I'm like 30 minutes into this film, and I'd say that I feel like this was like the equivalent of like senior year of high school going into like an associate's degree.
okay,
Not
something
sure.
to that effect.
Yeah,
But I mean, and then they get to the part where okay, so his father's passed. I mean, that's terrible, and it's from the same damn fever that took his sister.
yep.
And I'm just like, I mean, what's going on with this fever? Is this like a super flu? Like we got COVID back in the 30s, 40s. I don't know.
Yeah. Um, I'm doing a little bit of like what's it called, snooping around here, Brad. This the year that Aparajito won the Golden Lion, Throne of Blood was competing in this same competition. It beat out Kurosawa's Throne of Blood.
I mean, I'm not going into that. So,
But
uh,
Kurosawa's daughter apparently generated a list of 100 films that admired by Kurosawa, and
I
this
don't.
was one of the
Yeah,
films.
I don't disagree with them. Like this is a good film. This is a great film. Very well stylized from the beginning, but I don't know. I really enjoy the story of the first movie. Of like, it's his first film. He doesn't know what he's doing. Cinematographer doesn't know what he's doing. It looks like a fucking Kurosawa film to me. And all the child actors, in some way, like they don't fuck up. The adult actors, like the mother's, like the greatest thing on screen I've seen probably in the past couple years.
Yeah,
Um, I mean, and I don't get as much with this one personally. I think like the ending of this with the mother, she thinks hears her son is coming home, and then he doesn't, and it's just like, oh, that this is Grave of the Fireflies all over for me again.
yeah. Um, there was a lot of great what's it called? A lot of stuff that I'd like to bring up. So he's what's it called? Ray is adapting probably apparently like the last couple of chapters of Patar Panchali in this one, and he's adapting the second novel of Parajitu.
Hmm.
So I'm gonna guess. I wonder how this film would have played out if he would have just been able to like the movie would have been a little bit longer in that first. But I don't know, man. I sit here and I think about Pata Panchali, and I like that we ended there.
I think you have to end there because that ends
Yeah,
on such a monumental moment of the sister dying and the family unable to get work, and
yeah.
so they just have to leave.
So I don't know how it would, I would sit here and I think about if it was straight up the first book being adapted. But then again, like I never read this book, so I don't know
No,
exactly how it works. And maybe that time leap is just the way it works in the book, and that's what happened. But
I
I don't
I
know.
I do like how the Wikipedia article states that like the suburban audience of India was all like weirded out because the son wasn't as as loving to his mother, but he was. The thing
He
is
can't sit
she
there and
sent
tell
him
me.
off to get an education. He's taking the education serious at the same time he's working, and it's
Yeah,
just like I totally get that. Like I had I had friends from India at college, and guess what they did? They went to college and worked too.
yep. So I'll read this. Robinson writes the relationship had some echoes on a purely psychological plane for him. Ray was in particular moved by Banerjee's daring and profound revelation that for some time after Sarbajaya's death, Apu becomes familiar with a strange sensation. His immediate reaction had been one of pleasure, like a surge of release, a delight of in the breaking of bonds. But there was no doubt that he loved his mother. But the news of her death had at first brought him pleasure. He couldn't avoid the truth. Ray's wife, Bijoya, also voiced her concerns when she discovers the plot, asking him, "Do you think people in our country will accept a son's relief at having won freedom of his at his mother's death?" Ray was aware of the risk, saying, "Let's see what happens." After all, later Apu was full of regret at his initial reaction upon his mother's death, and as he realized her death actually came as a very big blow to him.
Well, and I mean that's another thing I have with this movie is the father's death. After that, it's not really like it doesn't seem like a big deal. Like it doesn't seem
Yeah,
like a huge issue. The father's death, and and then with you just saying that, that kind of explains it. He's like, oh, it's relief. I don't have to worry. Like my
yeah,
sister died. Now I don't have to worry about my father dying. And then when his mother dies, that's kind of it. That's like all any bonds he had are kind of just gone. So he's able to just go do his studies and
yeah.
work. That's
That's why that ending just like I think that ending's so fucking perfect, Brad. Just he's what's it called the grand uncle wants to just what's it called hug him, and he turns away and he walks, and
yeah.
the grand uncle is just what's it
And
called left with his hand up like
oh, the framing of that with the
yeah,
doorway, yeah.
yes, like
And even the granduncles, I think, a little confused by it, but it's just all those bonds are now broken, and my guess is in the third film that's going to hit very very hard at some point because you can put a shell around your heart,
yeah,
but when it's your mother, your father, and your sister, and then you cut yourself off from your family, that will eventually get to you.
yeah. And I like I said, so in this film, I really like the way they approach it. I think they did a great job with the restoration here. There's some stuff that, oh my
Was
god,
this
man.
film also in the fire?
Yes, yeah, all the whole
All three
trilogy,
films were
the
in the
whole
fire.
trilogy was
Jesus
in the fire.
Christ!
Yeah, the whole trilogy was in
When
the
do I get
fire,
my
man.
Curacao 4K? Because I don't think any of those were in a fire.
Brad, the thing is that Toho doesn't own these films.
Dear Toho, none of your shit was in a fire. Make it 4K.
Yup.
I got Ron 4K, but that was Toho doesn't own that anymore. I don't think,
I
or
think that was
whoever
Studio
who's the
Canal. Studio Canal owned that one,
yeah.
which Studio Canal are a lot more easier to let go of their stuff. Yeah, as you can tell, because what's it called? We have Inland Empire in the collection with a Blu-ray, which we never thought we'd get what's it called that or Lost Highway as well.
Yeah,
But
here we are.
yeah, Brad, but
Who
here
would
we
have
are,
thought?
right?
Who would have thought?
Yeah, not us. Yeah,
Mm-hmm.
but there's also things like so when she tells him when he tells him about the studies that I noticed something when she tells him like, oh, did I have to go to Calcutta? You hear the noise of the train in the back.
Hmm.
And like, and that train has such a massive significance in Patar Panchali. Like in Patar Panchali, like you just, the train is signifying like this, like wanting a better life, and them
Be
feeling
able to
like
afford one more.
you can afford one, right? And then now in like in this film, it signifies more of like a mother feeling like she's about to lose her child. And it's the realization as well that she's alone. Her
Yeah,
husband is dead, her oldest daughter is dead. She's gonna be here alone, and if she gets ill, no one will be there to take care of her.
no, and that's exactly what ends up
Yeah,
happening.
yeah,
And I mean, the only thing I can really compare it to is kind of Grave of the Fireflies when you have the two kids with no one and they get ill, and
yeah,
it's hard to watch. And then he puts on it where she thinks she hears her son,
yeah,
and she goes to the door and opens it, and no one's there.
yeah. And but it's just, and she even says like, no, don't write to Apu. I don't write to him. I don't,
She
I
didn't
don't want
want
to
to
disrupt.
bother him.
Yeah,
And that
and
makes it even more sad. It's like, and I feel like a lot of people are like that. I mean, I can be like that. I'm like, oh, I haven't heard from them in a while. I don't want to bother them.
yeah.
And I,
It's just, and I put myself in the shoes of like any mother out there, and it's like I don't know what it was like to live during this time. I don't know if the economy was that bad, but
I think it's more to do because India had what, a caste system.
the caste
So
system, yeah,
yeah, whatever you're born into, that's kind of where you're at,
yeah.
unless I guess you get education in some form,
But I think
or
about it as the
or you're a
person I
priest.
am right now. If I was 3 hours away from home, and it was like I had 2 days left, but education was such a massive thing to me. I still like I would have been like, I gotta go see my mom. I
Yeah,
got 3 hours from here to where I need to go, and it's just, and yeah, and I think that's what Apu, what's it called, starts to, what's it called, the notice at the end. He's just like, fuck, like that, I didn't get that time back. Like I really did, like I really could have been here, and I didn't. I wasn't. And when I come home is when she's dead, and it really hits him hard. And but once again, he's reminded that like I have this thing that my mother gave me. She gave me the chance to be able to go to study, and she gives me all these rupees that she's been saving
yeah.
forever. And it's just, man, there's
And
just that
it's
third
a
act,
hard
man.
it's a hard decision on top of that. And I mean, you see it, he breaks down a little bit when he first hears of his mother's death, but then he kind of like goes back at it, and he like clams up a little and takes his stuff and goes. But it also reminds me, strangely, a Markiplier clip that I've seen before. I guess Markiplier's father died when Markiplier was like 18, and he said the only thing that really gave him comfort was he had watched another video, and in that video they said from the age of 0 to 18, you spent like 95% of the time with your parents that you're
Hmm.
ever going to spend, and that gave him comfort knowing that he had spent 95% of his time with his dad.
Yeah. And it's and I bring up something, Brad, when you talk about the father's death. Um, so I grew up around my dad, well, my dad, my grandfather, but I'll use the example of my grandfather. All of them always worked out of town. They were constantly working. So like I spent, of course, time with my father, and even like, well, sometimes I got used to it just being my mom, me, and my brothers, because my dad was constantly working
Yeah,
outside, working what's called out of town. He'd come to either visit for holidays, or when it was close to what's it called, a home, on the weekends he would come over. But when our grandfather died, it didn't hit as hard as when my grandma died, because we had always, I don't know, our body and our mind was always so used to him just working out. He was working out in town. Like we
yeah.
just never
So
saw our grandpa like
you
that.
didn't have it. You didn't have. I mean, you didn't have quite the connection you did
Yeah,
as with your grandmother, who was around all the
yeah,
time.
and I love my paternal grandfather a lot, and I love that man a lot. And but we were used to this, like, oh, he's just working,
Yeah,
and like even then to now, like it still feels to me as if he's just working. Is he's not there? He's just out of town. He's working. Um, and I feel like, and I don't want to say that's the same thing, but like seeing this film Pater Panchali, when Apu just a young boy. His dad's working, comes home, eats, and then he leaves to what's it called, the city. And then he starts working, and then he comes home, and they move to the city where he's constantly working himself to try to, even though the mom even says like you can take a break, like what's it called, you've already made a good amount for this week, like we you can take a
Yeah.
break, and nope, he doesn't want to, he wants to keep working.
And then he's falling asleep in class. That was kind of a funny scene,
Yeah.
is when the professor's like, "You can get out, and then you can go with your friend to get out."
Yeah. So I feel like the father's death, it is a massive part of Pahu's life in this film. But I feel like the reason it doesn't carry that much weight as the mom's does is because
He was
Apu
always
probably
working.
was he was constantly working.
Yeah, I mean, well, in the first movie, the dad was what, gone for what, 5 months,
Yeah.
6 months? It's like half the year. That's half the year he's gone in
Yeah.
one time. It's like maybe that. Well, yeah, but I mean, but in this setting, it seemed like the father was around. Well, maybe not, because the father was still outside working.
Yeah.
I don't know. He probably got something from the freaking river.
Either he I think it was the guy who because like Brad, you've got to understand, man. People in India have been drinking from that river
Yeah,
forever.
yeah.
And they're very much still alive.
I
Even
mean,
though that,
yeah, their systems
yeah.
systems up.
Yeah, they
Their
got an
immune
immune
system's
system
good.
that's yeah.
Yeah,
But I think it was the guy who went into the house who said he had like a cold or something, and either his what's it called, and the dad's immune system wasn't ready for that, and he probably
yeah.
got what that man was carrying.
Which was the same
Um,
fever that probably killed the daughter,
the daughter, yeah, and
who's never brought up in the film, which I find
no,
weird.
and that's something too that I wonder, like, okay, but I feel like that's more of a something that carries weight with the mom.
Yeah, maybe it's just too painful to mention.
Yeah,
That could be it.
yeah. Um, and you can tell because, and I noticed it where like the children would run down from the top floor, and she would cover herself if she didn't want to see the kids, which were mostly girls.
Yeah,
And I feel like those are just like little details like that where it was like kind of bringing up the daughter. Um, but I also have to say there are two transitions in here. Well, one transition that I thought was fucking fantastic. The cut on there. So it's where the mom is like coming outside, and then she turns around, and we quick cut to the train arriving,
mm,
which I thought was fucking fantastic. I thought
I
was some
mean,
clever editing.
yeah, I mean, and you saw this, and this, for this being this man's second film, is kind of crazy with these transitions.
Crazy.
It was the same with the first film when you zoom out of. Well, you go into the dark. I think it's a dark room or something, and then you zoom back out of this dude's jacket, and it's like, well, that was a fucking cool transition, like
Yep.
something
And
you
then there
don't
was
normally
one
see.
where he zooms into the light on what's it called, the lantern, and then transitions into like something, and it comes out.
Yeah,
Yeah, that was fantastic too. And it's just, and you can tell that's where he's like, okay, Ray's starting to get a little bit around this idea of filmmaking. He's starting to experiment a bit,
and
and
well, I think the cinematographer is getting a little,
yeah,
a little bit
confident
more
too.
confident in it.
Yeah, but
He's like,
that's
the first one did good. Fuck it,
fuck it. He's like, fuck it, we got to be doing something right.
fuck it, we ball.
Yeah, but I thought it was a fantastic movie, Brad. I think that it brought me to shed some tears.
I
It's a
think this
movie that,
whole, I think once we see this third movie, this is gonna be a top tier trilogy.
yeah, I'm really enjoying what we're exploring from Satyajit Ray. I'm gonna go ahead and give Aparajito a 10 out of 10, Brad. I thought this movie was fucking perfect, and I never lost my patience with it. I was glued to the screen, and that third act was very emotionally taxing, and it was very profound to me, and I loved it. I love this film. Brad, what's your final verdict?
I'm going, like I said, I think I enjoyed the first film a little bit more. Um, Maybe because of the backstory, and I don't have as much emotional connection to this film as you do for obvious reasons.
Yeah,
Um,
it's
so,
like,
but
God damn it, my
I,
mom's not dead.
I still give it a 8.75 out of 10.
Yeah,
Like
Brad's
it's
like,
not.
my mom's alive, bro.
I mean, I've had, and I'm old,
Yeah.
so I've had, I've been lucky in that respect.
Yeah. But fantastic, man. I had to say, they did a great job on this restoration. I think it looks fantastic. I started watching, like I said, I started watching Apu Trilogy, and there's some great restorative work on there as well. So I can't wait
How
for us to talk about that on Thursday.
dear Criterion, you can bring back a movie that's been burned half to death, but you can't give me a Kurosawa 4K, motherfuckers.
I know, man. It's
Give me the box set. Box
meanwhile,
set Kurosawa 4K. Charge
um,
$300 if you want. I will put it on credit. I don't care anymore.
the thing is, Brad, all those some of those early like some of those films are already available in Japan, but they have no English subs.
Put some English subs. Like, type them out. What the fuck are we doing?
Excuse me. I
I
thoroughly
do need
believe
to
that
get
it's
Dreams
Toho.
though, because Dreams is in 4K, the one movie. But I'm waiting for
Yeah.
the box set. The box. You got box sets for every French director ever.
They're making another one for Eric Romer.
Yeah, no shit. They got fucking Godard up in there. And...
It's like, what can we do to get what's it called?
Is there an Edward Yang 4K? Was that in 4K? Yee and all that.
No, those are all Blu-rays, but
You bitches. He made
I
7 movies.
I don't. So of course they're 4K restorations, but they're on a Blu-ray disc.
Yeah.
I don't know how that's gonna work, but I mean, what's it called? I'm sure that that's coming soon. That's that has to be in the plans. Janus is playing that restoration of Confusion, and Mahong, so it has to be in the plans.
Mahong was pretty rough to watch.
Yeah, yeah.
But
Um.
whatever we were watching, it was pretty rough.
Oh
Stacy
man.
says, "So you say you wanted a Criterion cut of Plan 9 from outer space?" That's how it goes, Stacy. That's how it's going.
Oh my god. But yeah, Brad, it's sucks, man. Playing this waiting game, it sucks, bro. But
Yeah.
that's how it happens, bro.
I mean, just do the box set for Edward Yang at least. Like, you can do
Yeah.
that. It's 7 movies.
I do believe. I think it is coming. Either
Yeah.
that or they're putting out those last two, and we'll get to see those movies soon.
Yeah.
But
I
yeah,
mean that is one I'm looking, because Edward Yang's one of those directors that I didn't know about, and then when I knew about him and watched his work, it's just like, this is just riveting. This everything he does or did,
yeah. So
and
Seven Sam.
I'm starting to feel the same about Ray here.
Yeah,
Like I'm getting those Kurosawa feels.
yeah. But yeah, that concludes our review of Aparajito. And as always, we would like to thank you all so much for joining us. Yeah, Brad. It's they have Sanjuro, they have Yojimbo, they have High and Low, Seven Samurai, and Kagemusha available on 4K in Japan with no English subs.
Just type them out, bro. Just type them out. Like, you have the subs in all the other fucking movies. What?
There's subs for the Blu-ray versions of these
Put them.
movies.
Put them over there.
Brad's
Killing
not happy, bro.
Killing me.
Yeah. Um, I would hope that they're like they're talking with Toho and they're like, hey guys, we can make a little box set here, like 4 films from Akira Kurosawa on 4K.
And
We
Toho's
have,
like, nah, fuck them Americans.
yeah,
We remember. We never forgot.
yeah. Because now y'all are coming for this, huh? Now
Yeah,
y'all want this.
now y'all want.
Yeah. Um, but yeah,
Not
Brad.
this emperor.
Yeah, Brad's let's go. The announcements get made on the 15th this week, so we'll see what gets announced for next month for
I mean,
for March.
we've been doing this for many years, and Kurosawa really never gets announced. So it's another one of those, like, I don't believe you, even if you do say it.
Yeah.
I'll just hold on to my Ron,
Yeah.
my steelbook Ron.
Now hold on to my Ron into my what's it called my
Dreams.
my dreams, which
Yeah,
fucking fantastic,
yeah, I do need to get that.
fucking fantastic, Brad. But yeah, guys, thank you all so much for joining us here. As always, you can find us at thenerdcore.com. Twitter is at the nerdcore _ Instagram is at the nerdcore, as well on Threads. Patreon.com/the nerdcore. At the $1 tier, you get this episode live and early before anybody else gets to watch it. And on Thursday, you get that episode 2 days early before anybody gets to watch or listen to it on in the public. Stacy says, we see your Kurosawa box set. I raised you a 4K edition of the room. Yeah,
That's awful. That's awful.
I'm not complaining here of what we get. I really do like our announcements so far, but I'm just saying you got like a French film, you got like a bunch of European box sets coming out every month, and it's like
Oh, do they have Sword of Doom in 4K?
no,
I don't think they do.
no, no.
What the? Come on, man. I know that's not a Kurosawa, but come on, Sword of Doom is so freaking amazing.
Yep. But you can also find us on Discord. Check that the link in the description below. And of course, if you're watching this on YouTube, please make sure that you subscribe to the channel. Click that notification bell so you don't miss a single piece of content drops on the channel. And leave a like on this video. All of that would help us out so much. And if you're listening to this on a podcast, please go ahead and subscribe to us on your favorite podcast platform of choice, and follow us as well, as all that can help us out so much. And Brad, we'll be back on Thursday live for the patrons and on Saturday for the public to look at the final film in this trilogy, Apur Sansar. And on Patreon tomorrow at hopefully 8:30 p.m. we'll be doing our commentary of The Holy Man. We're working a little bit faster this month, y'all, because after the 21st, we're going to be dark until the first week of January, since we're going to take those weeks off because we're not going to be doing anything since we take those weeks off for the holidays. Also, a good amount of catching up to do on the film, so that way we can get ready for our top 10 of 2023 when we come back. But for now, on the Thursday, tomorrow on Patreon, we're doing the commentary for $5 tiers and up, and then on Thursday, we're gonna be doing that early of Apur Sansar, and on Saturday, you guys get it for the public. So lots going down this week, lots of fun. And I can't wait to continue looking at this man's movies. I am I'm really
Impressed.
impressed with his films, man. I really do think that he's a really good filmmaker, and this was only his second movie. I
Yeah,
can't.
that's kind of mind blowing. I like that first film shouldn't have happened that way.
No,
No, it comes straight out as like a documentary when he starts.
yeah,
And it's like no, all these kids were technically acting. I couldn't tell.
yep, yep. But yeah, Brad. With that said, we're gonna go ahead and get out of here, and yeah, we'll see you all in the next one. Brad, send them out.
All right, Roll. Thank you, being host as always. Thank you to Stacy for joining us in chat today. I think all our listeners out there, all our patron supporters, we appreciate each and every one of you. And to end this episode, go hug your mom. That's all I gotta say. Young Yoda out.